Hey everybody, today I'm working in our front yard and we just had new sidewalks poured, a new driveway poured, we put down some sod, so hopefully this is the best this yard is gonna have looked in a long time. I will note there is a lot of construction going on. We got neighbors putting up a new roof, and then there's also a big construction project going on down the street, so you're gonna hear a lot of noise, but I don't think you'll mind. And what I'm gonna basically do is plant some annuals along here. Eventually we're gonna probably put perennials along here, but for this year we're just going to kind of get it started with some of these annuals. So let me show you some of the plants I'm going to try to work with. So down here I have some of my Cocoa Gold marigolds. These were absolutely a joy last year. We had them in the front yard and we just kept cutting off of them all season long. So we had cut flowers in the house coming off of these, and they look like shrubs outside. So the more we cut them, the more they seem to grow. And then I have some things that I'm just going to tuck in on the ground. This is a dichondra, which is really more of a trailing plant. I don't know how it's going to do in the ground, but I'm going to give it a try. I spotted that Lisianthus at the nursery, and it's an orange one. So I want to see what an orange Lisianthus looks like. I don't think it's probably really orange. And then this is a trailing mizu, that's also known as Livingston daisy. This is a nice succulent, can take sun or shade. And then there were some of these kind of shamrock type things. This was a proven winners variety. Let's see, Charmed Wine. And then that's lemon coral sedum. That's always a nice one, just kind of tuck in. Some more of the shamrocks. We just wanted to, I don't know, try something different. And this is what they had. And I don't know, just went for it. Have the Volcanica Solar Flare Coleus here, and then I was out there and I saw this canna and I couldn't resist because it has these beautiful striped leaves. I think that's just very exciting to me, and it just says summer to autumn bloom time. Nope, it's called Creta. That's what it's called. Sorry, couldn't read it. And then what else do I have? I think that's all for right now, and maybe I'll show you some of my containers after I get done planting. So we've had a ton of rain since I finished this little project, but I'll give you a little peek at how it looks. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks. One problem is that this mulch is pretty high, so I think when we decide what perennials we're going to put in here, I'm going to lower down the soil a little bit. That way the soil will be lower and then the mulch will be on top, and there'll be less risk of it being washed out during rain. You can already see some of it's kind of creeping over the edge, and I don't necessarily want to put like a guard up or something like that to hold that mulch, but I've never grown these shamrocks before, so I'm very curious to see how those do. This is an east-facing area, so it gets morning light, but it does get sunlight until 1 o'clock, so I think those are a sun or shade one, but I think the other ones might like a little bit more part sun, so we'll see how that does. I'm really excited to see how the canna does. Hopefully that's enough sunlight for it. Definitely gets more than 6 hours, so that should be enough. And I just kind of tuck these in. We'll see how they do. These are kind of experimental. And then the dichondra in the ground, I've never done that before. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but we'll find out. And I just love this Coleus, this Volcanica Solar Flare. It's just so beautiful. And then I do have just pots kind of tucked in all over the place. So I'm going to just show you some of my favorites right now. And one of them is this one here. This is a nice one because it can take full sun right down to part shade. So these are sun patients. So these could go in full shade, but they won't flower quite as much. And so it's just sun patients and the Surefire White Begonia. And they're just, I love how they've mixed in together. So I think there's 2 of each in there, which might be a little bit extra plants than what we maybe need. And then we just tucked in some of the creeping Jenny. And I will say I did just cut some of this creeping Jenny and I just shoved it in the ground. Sometimes when creeping Jenny is up against the soil, it ends up just rooting. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna just give it a go. It is kind of perennial here, but it can be a little vigorous. So keeping it here is gonna be fine because it's not gonna spread too much, but it could spread quite a bit in your yard. And then there's my marigold, and here's another one of my favorite combinations. I potted this one up in a video, so I'm really, really happy to see this one. That's the Silenia apricot begonia. That's filling in so nice. And then this is the Falls Coleus, the Niagara, I think. And so that's starting to trail. So eventually that's actually gonna go right down. My sweet potato vine is kind of starting to grow now. It was just sitting there for quite a while, but it's nice to see that it's starting to grow a little bit. And then let's see, over here, I really enjoy this Persian shield. This is the first time I've ever grown it. It's doing very well in this location. Have it with some sun patience as well. And then I'm happy. I planted these up not too long ago. So these are looking really good. The Coleus, these are the downtown variety. And this is the Glimmer Double Impatient. Doing pretty well, but I have to say my favorite is right here. So what we've got here is two different types of Hypoestes. So this one here is the Splash Select, and then this one over here is the Hippo from Proven Winners. And it's hard to say which one I think is doing better. I noticed there is a little bigger leaf on the Proven Winners one, but this one is just as full. And I know I can kind of cut these back if I want to get them more bushy. So we'll see kind of how that goes. One thing I have noticed between the Rocapoco Impatiens, double impatiens that are in here, and the Glimmer, the Rocapocos do seem to kind of point upwards a little bit more, and they do have more flowers. The flowers are smaller than the Glimmers, but I kind of like the Rocapoco. I know some people have said they like the Glimmer better, but I'm leaning towards this. I also had picked up this Rocapoco, and this is, I brought it out here because I didn't want it to get too wet in the rain, but look at how many flowers are on this. It's just covered. It's a beautiful basket. And again, when I saw the Glimmer in the trial gardens, this is kind of what I saw a lot of. The flowers sometimes bloom a little bit downward, so you don't always get to see them, and so there's like kind of missing patches. It's still beautiful though. I would not say no if somebody said, hey, do you want a Glimmer? I'd say absolutely. And then man, look at these Coleus, so many beautiful things. That's enough for right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. And this is our new driveway. We still have a lot of debris to get rid of, so we got the trailer out there. Now, of course, it's gotten rained on, so it's a little wet, but hey, can't help but do all this progress and enjoy it because I'm so happy to see so much getting done.